The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
And it's time to check in with CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who's also the editor of CoinDesk State of Crypto newsletter. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
So you've, I assume, taken advantage of CoinDesk's expense account and took in a seller down to DC for FinTech Week. And I also understand that you have the likes of Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX and Michael Barr, who's the Federal Reserve Vice Chair for Supervision. They're sitting there, they're talking about finance. Anything interesting happened while you were there?
Yeah, so I've been in DC for the last couple of days for DC Fintech Week. It was, we finally got to hear from Michael Barr, as you mentioned, the Fed Vice Chair for Supervision. This was his first public appearance speaking about crypto since taking the post. A lot of what he said kind of echoes what we've heard from other regulators in recent days and weeks, cautioning crypto companies that, sure, there may be innovation, there may be benefits, but they really want to be careful about managing risks. They want to make sure that entities are safe, that consumers are safe. So, in one sense, it's a refrain we've heard before from, numerous regulators in DC. But on the other hand, it is always interesting to see another individual, especially, Barr's role in particular, heavily overseeing banks and traditional financial institutions. It's always interesting to hear from folks in that kind of a role who say, yeah, we are seriously looking at this. We are seriously considering that there might be, potential blowback effects if banks or other financial institutions decide to get involved in crypto. But we're still looking at it. This is a definite change, I would say, from 2 years ago when it wasn't really on anyone's radar in this kind of a way.
So speaking of seriousness and reviewing things in crypto, stablecoins. Patrick McHenry is the congressman who's apparently he's saying that they're still talking about it. I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah, so this is the House Financial Services Committee stablecoin bill. We've been hearing about it for months. Representative McHenry, the ranking member of the committee, so the leading Republican on it, said that he's been working with Representative Maxine Waters of California, the chair of the committee, as well as the Biden administration. He kind of seemed to say that the Biden administration is where things have hit a bit of a snag, that there are some details that they just haven't been able to get together on yet. But he did, shout out his counterpart, Representative Waters, for the trade-offs that she was willing to make in order to come up with a bipartisan bill. They are still working on it. It doesn't sound like we will have something, imminently, but it does sound like they're working on it, that they, he hopes to introduce it, if not in the next couple of months, certainly within the new term next year.
And so Michael Barr, that Federal Reserve Vice Chair for Supervision, was saying that regulators need to get ahead of developing technologies before they can write rules governing the sector. Any lead on that? Yeah,
so it sounds like it's still a work in progress. He didn't really hint at any specific types of regulations that we might see or hear about. It just sounds like this is kind of a more generic statement that regulators need to understand this thing before they can write rules about it. And obviously, there are concerns and things we've been hearing, but not necessarily anything immediately actionable.